Don't you hate when you take your skull cannon and it misses quite a lot of shots? Misses 3 out of 6 shots. Isn't that just a shame when that happens and it leaves behind a cool little vortex, but it missed that spearman, it missed the silver helmet, it missed Eltharion entirely? Wouldn't it be great and amazing if there was a brand new skull cannon that literally couldn't miss? Introducing this fucking thing. The hellforged bellowers are pretty insane. Their damage against cavalry and single entities is not very good. So they are pretty much exclusively an anti-infantry piece. But with those homing missiles, they like literally can't miss. It's like a gaze of Nagash or something because of how the homing missiles work. So they all fire 4 projectiles now and shoot at whatever they want. Now I tell all 6. This is all 6 of them shooting at the same silver helm. That's already taken a couple volleys. So, yeah, it's not anti-everything, but it is very anti-infantry. And they look cool, they sound cool, the animations are great, everything about them is greatly designed. I worry they might be a little too strong and the corn kite meta might be coming in. Because they literally can't miss. I mean, Eltharion even staggered and not a single shot missed him. But, it's interesting. You'll definitely be seeing a lot of it, and it is very cool. Time for the big news of the patch. I'm sure you've already heard it from other content creators, but Mangler squigs are OP. Mangler squigs are wild. So they're allegedly an anti-infantry. They have bonus versus infantry. Low melee defense, low armor unit. 4 models, and when they die, they blow up like bloated corpses. But the Mangler squigs have something wrong with them, because sometimes they don't take a lot of damage in melee, and other times they do. Like this one kind of stopped taking damage for a bit, now it's taking a bunch. These are fighting Fireborn. They are unbreakable, 1,000 gold fighters fighting the best cavalry in the game, 1,800 gold Fireborn. And look at this one all of a sudden started doing a bunch of damage, but it's because it lost a model. So it's like 4 melee bloated corpses just decimating the Fireborn whenever they have their little explosions. What do we have left? 2 models, 1 model over here. One of the Fireborn dies entirely. Another Fireborn doesn't shatter, but it does rout. Another Fireborn does shatter. And this final Fireborn, 15 models left, still fighting the Mangler squig. And that final explosion routs them. So all of the Fireborn routed. And army losses. I mean, that one's not the Fireborn's fault. But yeah, all the Mangler squigs traded up into the Fireborn excessively well. So we'd be like, hey, human boy, all right, so don't fight Mangler squigs with cavalry. Understood? Don't do that. Even not the best cavalry in the game. Well, they're still anti-infantry, so let's see how they do against a braced line of spears. Now the AI, I believe they stop in time, and I am testing with the AI. And before, hey, I forgot to mention this at the start. Before y'all get on my shit, I always have these comments when I do these types of videos where they're like, why don't you have the mod that turns off the enemy lord, or why don't you have this mod or that mod? Bro, it's an early access beta build. Mods for this shit don't exist. They crash instantly. This is the best I can do. Why don't you just get another player? The only other players right now are content creators who also have their own shit going on. So these squigs charge straight into braced Keepers of the Flame, and they took literally 0. They took literally 0 damage charging them. So they're completely immune for some reason to the concept of charge reflection. Just because of how their animations work, they knock back the Phoenix Guard. They knock back the Silver Guard before that charge reflection can be applied. So they are immune to charge defense versus large, immune to charge reflection, all that stuff. And they just grind through these guys. Now they are fighting Phoenix Guard. They are fighting Spearmen. They are fighting Silver Guard. And they're still doing pretty well. Now that the fight has settled in, they're starting to do some decent damage. But again, those explosions are tearing through them. So the Mangler squigs can charge straight into halberds and just whoop them. Just whoop their ass. They beat the Spearmen pretty handedly. They beat the Silver Guard barely. And they traded up into the Phoenix Guard. That one is the one that just killed a spearman, so he didn't get a lot of value. But these other two paid for themselves, charging braced halberds. And they put the slap down on them.
So I feel like it goes without saying that if they don't fight halberds, they do even better. Like if they fight just basic infantry, they churn through them pretty quickly.
I think this also goes without saying is that if they don't fight the Fireborn, they also massacre cavalry pretty easily. They take a bit of damage in return, but they do win versus all those things. The one thing they are supremely weak to, and I must commend CA, I honestly thought I was going to be making a video that bolt throwers just shoot past them, because how could they possibly hit these bouncing hitboxes? But there appears to be a hitbox at the very center of them that the arrows manage to hit. And ranged units absolutely demolish Mangler squigs. They just absolutely crush them. So we have some Sisters of Avalorn here, shooting at the Mangler squigs, do good damage. And then I just stop in place, because I'm just testing how much range damage these guys take, but it is quite a lot. So it looks like the way to beat them is to shoot them. Now the AI starts running away because they're dumb and I got rampaged into them, but you obviously can't just shoot them before they reach you. They are unbreakable and they are 82 speed, so they will catch you. You need something between you and them, but it looks like they can go through whatever that something is, and when you kill them, they'll blow up on top of whatever that something is. So it's pretty distressing. But I feel like sometimes they don't take that much damage in melee because wherever that hitbox is, they're busy knocking everybody over. Like those were Wathan Seaguard they were churning through. So they can't stand up and swing back, so sometimes I feel like the Mangler squigs are oppressively tanky in melee combat due to just how much knockback they have and stuff. But yeah, Mangler squigs might be a bit of a problem. Is it the most broken thing I've ever seen? No. I mean, the Landship, Steam Tank, and Thunder Barge still exist, but like, it probably needs a nerf. Probably needs a nerf overall. Single entities also do okay into them. Mangler squigs trade pretty well. It depends. If you're a melee duelist, like a bloodthirster, you'll kill them pretty okay. If you're not a melee duelist, then they'll trade up into you, so it's kind of a wash. They hard counter infantry and cav. They are hard countered by range, and they do okay into single entities. Now, the only problem with that is, like, you have to stop them with something so that the range can have time to fire. So the only factions that can deal with Mangler squigs are someone that have cheaper cavalry than 1,000 gold, and it's worth it to lose them. And it's worth it to lose them and spend the time shooting Mangler squigs, because that time is costing you something, right? The greenskins are flanking you, or they're pushing through your front line or something. So honestly, one of the only factions I can see being able to deal with Mangler squigs easily is greenskins, because of Spider Riders, where you could just charge Spider Riders into them for 400 gold, and then shoot with Orc Auror Boys or those Goblin Spear Chuckas over the top. And when you do the explosions, it's like, all right, you killed my Spider Riders, who cares? But yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a toughie. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.